Hey, what's up, and welcome to the Weekender. This is the show where we talk about football and the best games of the week. And it's me and Lexi today. For this one, Lexi, what's going on?
Just vibing as a Michigan fan.
Yeah,
All I can do right now. No, but I'm good. Just ready to talk some football and ready for a weekend off for Michigan at least. So
I mean, yeah, let's get into that. That's kind of like what we want to talk about first, because I mean that's really the biggest news in football right now. Like both NFL and college really is like all the stuff that happens. I mean, not even the reports this week. But I mean, well, I guess yeah. Over the last couple of weeks, it's been sort of the same thing, like the sign stealing, thing. What's so like from a Michigan fan and more of an insider than me? Like, what's your kind of take on everything that's going on?
you know, years ago this would have never been me, but I've been very rational along this whole thing. Sure, do I like to troll and maybe like sprinkle a little gasoline into the fire on Twitter with my rivals, but there's nothing that's been illegal. I mean, optics don't look good, sure. Yeah, should they maybe not have like done that, whatever, but anything that's come out, nothing has technically been illegal. So I'm not freaking out. Everyone's trying to say like the death penalty, blah, blah, blah. It's mainly just Ohio State, Michigan State fans, let's be real. But the whole NFL and college football world has kind of responded like outside of our petty rivals with just the same type of thing. Nothing illegal's been done. Where's the issue here? I'm not going to sit here and just cry witch hunt on Harbaugh, but it's not far fetched to say that they're digging a little deeper and farther, given what he's done to them in the past. So I'm just chilling. I'm waiting for a verdict if there's going to be one, but a lot of people are going crazy trying to discount losses that they've gotten against us in the past few years. More power to them. Whatever helps them sleep at night. But at the end of the day, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right?
Well, I think the takes are interesting. Like, I heard Deion Sanders in a press conference, I believe it was today or yesterday, say like, yeah, you can know about the signs or whatever, but you still have to stop it. You still have to go and execute. I think even Sarkisian said something similar to where he was like, there are schools that rely on it more than others. So, like, the conversation is interesting because it's like, yeah, like you said, there might be some people that are upset about it or whatever, but if you look back at the macro in the college football world, like, it doesn't sound like this is something that's unusual in the sport of college football. And that's why you see, coaches covering their mouths when they call plays, and you see all the, people doing jumping jacks on the sidelines and trying to, throw all these distractions so that to confuse the opponent and not, give away what's happening. So, you know, to me, it sounds like it's a lot of like much ado about nothing, and maybe you're right. Like Jim Harbaugh has poked too many bears in the NCAA, and now they're after him or whatever. But yeah, it seems kind of just like stuff just because it's Michigan, just because it's Harbaugh, like
Right.
it's more noise than it really is. It should be. If Virginia was doing this, like no one would care. Or
I mean, honestly, that's spot on. As a Michigan fan, like I'm used to Jim or even just the school like being in headlines. I mean, obviously for some not so good stuff, but also for some kind of bullshit that's been like in the past that was nothing, just a kind of a smear campaign. Things like that have happened. Now, like I said, there's things that have been coming out, whatever, but until I see something illegal, I can't sit here and say, oh, I'm so like disappointed, when it's like literally everyone outside of our rivals understands that this is part of the game. NFL, that's why they have mics in the helmets. I saw Matt Rule going off. He had a really good point that it's like in high school they do, the mic and the helmets and stuff. They in the NFL, why don't they do it in college? Just another reason the NCAA sucks. It's like, you know, I don't know. I know that they like made it or they removed the rule or something because of financial cost prior, but not because it was illegal for like sending other people to games. So there's a lot of gray area. Do I think a rule's probably going to be rewritten or clarified? Yes. But you can't rewrite the rule to punish Michigan, because then they're just going to sue the shit out of them. And I'll just sit back and watch that pile up in court. But, I think that it's going to maybe be a little bit more of a slap on a wrist, maybe a little bit more like harsh than that. But there's not going to be wins vacated, championships taken down. Like even the Big Ten wouldn't be that, silly to do that, because it's part of the game. So we'll see though. I've seen things crazier in my life.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say about this, and like I'm stealing this quote, but I think it's such a good one. If you didn't know that it was a rule before these reports came out, don't pretend to be outraged that they broke the rule. Like, for the internet out there, people that want to be big outraged about this, like if you didn't, if no one knew that that would have been illegal, like what 6 days ago, like if it's like who cares?
Right. Honestly, I say it all the time. They hate us because they ain't us, and that's just period. Because that's why it's being so blown out of proportion. But
yeah, 100%. All right, let's get to the games. We got some good games to talk about. Not as great of a schedule in college as the past couple weeks, but still some really good games on the dock. And we're going to start out west with Oregon at Utah. I was at the Los Angeles Coliseum to watch Utah beat USC in person, and that was quite an event.
That's so awesome. I can't wait to get out there.
Yeah, it was cool. It was great. Like it was great atmosphere. USC fans are. I mean, it's one of the fan bases in LA that's very strong. It's not like the Chargers or whatever. Like it's fair weather. Yeah. It's like a very strong fan base. So that was cool to see. It was cool to be in that environment. The game wasn't like your typical like USC, Lincoln Riley, like high offense. It wasn't a bunch of like, you could see the box score. Caleb Williams didn't really have that great of a game. He had a touchdown at the end that was pretty exciting, but you really were just watching like, two teams sort of, they had a few good drives, but it was actually a good defensive game for a Utah USC matchup. So, that's what it was. Utah, pulled out the win, 6-1 now without Cam Rising. Oregon's also 6-1. They're favored by 6.5 in this game. This is in Salt Lake City. Over under is 48. My question, Lexi, to you is Kyle Whittingham the most underrated coach in college football?
Yeah, I'd say he's up there. I mean, especially, what he's able to work with and turn into, it's like, that's just impressive. I wouldn't be shocked if, he got a bigger job, soon enough, just because I think he's made such an impact in the small time that he's had. So yeah, I like him. I don't want him to come to a team for the Big Ten, because I think he's got some potential to be one of the greats. His mind is, you can just tell, like the way he kind of schemes things up. It's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he'll have something to think about because you have Utah going to the Big 12, and that I think they'll be fine there. But like the fact that Utah is back-to-back Pac-12 champions, they're 6-1 this year, and there's like no fanfare about their team at all. Like, I mean, I don't think coaches really care about that, but you think about going to a situation like Michigan State. If you can do that again there, you're gonna gain so much more attention at a program like that than you ever would at Utah.
Not even speak that into existence, okay? Do not even speak that.
That was just the first coaching job that like I remember was open, but
I mean, you thought of the team that needs a coach more than like they need air to breathe. I get it.
Yeah. But speaking of that, like let's talk about Oregon. Like Um, they're obviously been good this year. They're going to the Big Ten next year. Like, I just was kind of curious your thoughts. Like, what do you feel about their fit in the Big Ten, or what their fit in the Big Ten could be, based on what you've seen like this year?
Yeah, I think Oregon's going to come. Like, I typically say when teams come into a new conference, it always is shaky, but they are good on the offense and defense side of the ball. So I think that they're going to fit in more so than I think USC would. I think USC and maybe even UCLA are going to get a little bit of a awakening when they come. But another good mind, Dan Lanning. I think that he's really got things going good over there. And it's probably going to be a little bit of a you know shock at first, but he'll adjust. I think that's one thing that they're good at, and they've got talent coming in, so it's going to be easy for him. Not too hard.
Yeah, I think the way Oregon plays on both sides of the ball is going to be very like helpful for them, and it seems to carry over from quarterback to quarterback. Uh, Obviously, Bo Nix there being there would be great for them, and it would help. But they're going to be starting over with a new quarterback, and I think Oregon will look good.
I really am glad that a lot of those quarterbacks will be cleared out of there by the time they join.
Yeah, yeah, you're not going to get Caleb Williams or Bo Nix or Michael Penix or anything like that in the Big Ten.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's do keys to victory. I watched Utah in LA. I think for them for this game, it's going to be difficult because you don't have your. This is a game where like you really wish Cam Rising was there because of his ability and experience. But I think Utah, what worked so well against USC is they were able to get off the field on third down. They didn't let USC sustain drives. Their secondary looks really well. They kind of really did a good job of eliminating what USC does great on offense. Um, I feel like the end of the game got away from them a little bit because sometimes great players like Caleb Williams is Lincoln Riley, good coach. They find ways to win, but the fact that they fought back towards the end there and um, got back into the game and put themselves in a position to get that field goal win. Like this is a tough team, so they're gonna have to bring that physicality and toughness when they face Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, I think just for Utah, it's going to just be on your defensive game. Like you just got to contain that offense. I know it is at Utah, but like you said, there's not like that sense of a home field advantage. Really, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but um, yeah, I think that it's really just about containing Oregon because they're good. That offense is really good, and so you wish you had Cam Rising at the helm, someone experienced, but just take care of the ball. Take care of business on defense, and I think that's a way that they can stay in this game.
Yeah, Oregon's favored by just under a touchdown. I feel like if Cam Rising played in this game at home, Utah would be favored, or Oregon may be less of a favorite than they are. But yeah, that's what Utah's gonna have to do. I feel like Oregon. I don't see like anything that they've done wrong so far. It was just I feel like Washington. They were in a tough environment and they had a quarterback that could make things happen, and then the end of the game they just made more plays. I would say if I had to say a key to a victory for Oregon, just learn from what you did wrong at Washington, which was taking those chances on fourth down. Like sometimes taking the points is fine. Making smart decisions, especially
Yes, taking the points.
yeah, yeah, making smart decisions on fourth down. Not taking all the risk all the time, like especially on the road, like where teams are comfortable. I think if they learn from what they did wrong there, I think they'll be fine.
I agree.
Um, all right, so we both got Oregon winning. Um, for me, I just think again, like it's it's a matter of um, it's a matter of Oregon being more balanced and Utah not having their starting quarterback. I think Utah might prove us wrong again, um, but yeah, I think in a game like this with a team as good as Oregon is, like this is a game you wish you had cameras and they don't. So I think that makes a difference for Oregon.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed. Yeah, I'm taking Oregon. That 6.5, I wouldn't even kind of mess with. I think it could be even a closer game, just given that's how the Pac-12 works. They just maul each other. I feel like all games long, but yeah, give me Oregon.
yeah. All right, cool. All right, next game on the docket, we got Georgia, who's favored by 14 and a half at Florida. They're going to the Swamp. This is a rivalry game. That line of 14 and a half doesn't seem like, I mean, it's a big line, but you feel like, all right, maybe this line should be a little bit bigger. But Florida is a good team. They're 5-2, having a good season. There was talk about their coach being on the hot seat. Now they're 5-2. Things are looking up. And Georgia has to go into this tough game without their best player and Brock Bowers. So, uh, so my first question is, should Georgia be worried about playing without Brock Bowers, not only in this game but moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's less this game than the rest of the season, but yes, Florida's been playing good, but Georgia's still Georgia. They're not a bad team by any means. I see you're like still fifth in scoring, seventh in defense overall. That's still an elite team. And I just missing Brock Bowers is going to be huge, but I just think against a team that just isn't as stacked as it normally would be some years, this is going to be a game that you should win, with or without Bowers for sure. But we'll see.
All right, so yeah, looking at just at like Florida, at who Florida has played, I think that who have they played? Blah, 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 blah. Why is it?
Well,
Wait, hold on, hold on.
they play
Yeah,
Kentucky, South Carolina. I think those are the last two wins they had. Um,
yeah. South Carolina's sort of like they were in a dogfight with South Carolina. The South Carolina's not a good team this year.
yeah,
Coming off the bye, beat Vanderbilt, lost to Kentucky, beat Tennessee. It's impressive. Lost to Utah at the beginning of the year. So, I mean, I would say maybe like you have like one good win in there. They were at home against Tennessee, but Georgia's a different animal. I feel like
yeah.
Florida, like if you're in this game all the way through, I think that's a good sign for them or progress. But winning this game is going to be a completely different animal. Uh,
Mm.
and to that point, if you could give like a percentage, what chance give Florida of winning this game?
I'm going with like 20%.
Yeah, 20% is good. I would say
I mean,
like
like you said, as long as they just don't let Georgia run away with it, I would be impressed. Like keep it close, make it a good game, make Georgia work for it. Like if they give Georgia a good, challenge, I'd be impressed. But
yeah,
yeah.
I think I would maybe bump it up to maybe a 30 or 40% chance. Because although Georgia lately has looked better, I think we've still kind of over the course of the year seen them be shaky in certain situations. Florida is a tough place to play for anybody. Once again, that the Tennessee when they got was at home, and I think Brock Bowers is a big loss for a team like Georgia, who you're not really sure like if their quarterback is anything special, and for guys like that, you need weapons, and they have them, but Brock Bowers is going to be a big loss for them. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would give Ford a little bit more of a chance to win. I think around 40. Um,
Is he out for the
So
season, or did they say how long he's out
I think
for?
they said 4 to 6 weeks,
Oof.
which
Well,
is
I mean, at
like
least,
the rest of the regular season, pretty much.
yeah, they need him for that championship.
Yeah, yeah. You're hoping if you're a Georgia fan, you're hoping he's back by the SEC championship at least. If that game is going to determine like you get into the playoff, you're going to want him there. Especially if it's a
Hmm.
team like Alabama or LSU, like that's going to be a game that you need your guy. Um, so 30% of the bets for Florida money line are, I mean, yeah, Florida money line is 30% of people are betting Florida money line. So we're right around this like 20, 30%, 20, 40, 30, 40% is like a good number, I think, for Florida in terms of a chance to win. But both of us believe Georgia will win. I was tempted to like do a Florida plus 14 and a half, but I just like Georgia, you know. I think we both feel like Georgia. So keep it
Yeah,
simple there.
yeah, they got
Um,
luck. They got a real good schedule all season. So
yeah. Yeah, this would be a good game. And it's kind of unfortunate that both of these games we just talked about are both at the same time, like both 3:30 Eastern, kind of like one of those you flip back and forth between I guess Fox and CBS. Um, so yeah, it should be an interesting one. All right, on to the NFL games. The first one we're going to start with is the Bengals and going to San Francisco to play the 49ers. Um, the Bengals are 3-3. The Niners are 5-2. They just had a surprising loss to Kirk Cousins and what people are calling the best game of his career.
oh my god, how do you lose the Vikings without Justin Jefferson? Oh
Kirk
my
Cousins
gosh.
beat the can't play in primetime allegations
You
last night.
know, I will give little Kirky some credit there because he did have a great game, but
Yeah,
it's just it's frustrating to watch him though because he'll have like good play, then like really stupid play, really stupid throw, and it's like stop being so hot and cold. It drives me crazy, but
yeah,
good for him pulling the win. They needed it to even stay in the race. So
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, tough loss for the Niners on a short week, but they do go back home. They're favored by 5.5. Over under 45 for this game. I mean, on that point, did that game against the Vikings concern you at all about the Niners, or do you have any concerns about the Niners?
yeah, you know, I think the Niners are still a really good team, but they're just like losing focus right now. Shanahan's got to get this together because you got Philly, you've even got, granted, we took a horrible loss to Lamar, but still the Lions. You got good teams in the NFC. You can't just be throwing away these games and then lose that home field advantage for the playoffs or anything. Like they need to take what they can get. So I'm surprised that they've like been slipping up like this, but I don't see it going 3 games. I think that they'll get their stuff together for this one.
Yeah, I think the tough part is it seems like we're seeing Brock Purdy have some chinks in the armor a bit in terms of like he's now becoming a guy where it's like, okay, if everything is not perfect, how good is this guy? And so now, like for Shanahan, you got to figure out, what to do because this is your quarterback. You sent away Lance, Jimmy G's not there, obviously. Like this is your guy. It's either him or Sam Darnold. So, if you want to get to, where you want to get, like this is going to be it's going to be critical that Brock plays better. And I think that's kind of where San Francisco is at right now. Looking at the tough loss, having to go face a team of the Bengals who has a great quarterback and a good offense. And on that note, um, who do you think has the edge in this game? Is it the Bengals the Bengals offense, the Burrow, Jamar Chase, or the Niners defense?
Like I said, I love Joe Burrow and like obviously this Bengals offense, but this Niners defense is not going to give up 3 games. I just don't see San Francisco giving up 3 in a row, especially to 2 teams in Ohio. So I just think that the edge, the grit is going to be here from this defense to get their stuff together, and not let another quarterback make them look bad. I think that they're going to be hungry. So I give them the edge in this one.
Yeah, this is a good question. My, I think the Bengals is tough right now because they actually need to find a way to spread the ball around and not be so focused on Jamar Chase, because the Niners defense is going to be able to pressure Joe Burrow, maybe take away Jamar Chase's opportunity to burn you, and now you're going to figure out, all right, what's the run game look like? Who are the other options? So I feel like the edges Niners defense, and I'm going to agree with you there, because the Bengals offense right now is a little one dimensional, and they're also struggling as long as Joe Burrow is not 100%, which looks like he still isn't quite there yet. So yeah, the Bengals offense needs to hopefully is going to take this time, take advantage of the Niners' shorter week of preparation to put together a game plan that's going to make them like more effective against a defense like the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're split on the predictions. I'm taking the Bengals to go into San Francisco and win. I think that for one game, even if it's like a low scoring game, I trust Joe Burrow and offense to figure it out, find a way to score. Not 100% sold on what's happening with Brock Purdy right now, and I think the defense can keep them in the game, but I think if this goes down to like the last couple plays, I think it's going to be the Bengals that come out with the win.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right, because then my Lions will just scoot right up to that, or lock in that second place in the NFC. But yeah, Niners are gonna be pissed off.
Sure.
Probably be like a masterclass from the defense. Who knows? Nick Bosa getting all crazy out there. But yeah, give me the Niners, especially at home.
All right, well, let's jump to and again the Niners for 5.5 there, um, and let's jump to the NFC West rival and the Rams, who are traveling to Dallas for the Cowboys. Matthew Stafford going back to his home of Texas. Uh, Hopefully, he'll play very well. The Rams are 3-4. Cowboys are 4-2. The Cowboys are favored by 6.5. The over/under is 45. 3-4 still in the mix there for the Rams. What's their ceiling?
I think that they have a chance to, still make the playoffs. I think that anyone that ever discounts Matthew Stafford is going to always come up short. The guy, this team is still gritty. They can still fight for it. I don't think they do much in the postseason, but I think that they have the ability to get there, or at least, be that, wild card or whatever. So that's probably their ceiling, maybe one playoff win, but I don't see it really going more past that. There's just too many other talented teams in their way in the NFC for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think making the playoffs is their ceiling for sure. And then, obviously, Dak was the talk of the town after a good game against the Chargers, played one of the best games of his career. Do you expect to see an improved Dak from now on after his performance versus the Chargers?
I mean, I don't ever want to put all my faith into Dak, because I always get let down anytime I think that it's going to be a consistent style of play. If he just keeps this mentality up, keeps just
Confidence.
the confidence, got to keep the confidence in this season. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to be confident enough to ride that through the rest of it with him, because he's just too inconsistent.
Yeah, I think that game showed him like he's capable. Like
Yes.
I think like before that, like the Cowboys for so long, so much of his career, like they would beat up these bad teams and then struggle against the better teams and lose these playoff games. Like the Chargers, I think are not great, but they're going to end up okay. And you're facing another great quarterback. Um, a Bosa brother. Playmakers on defense. So I think for Dak, I think the confidence could help him. What will it help him in the playoffs? I'm not going to say that, but I think it could help him because I think before that point, like all you heard was questions, and now he has that performance, and now he's a big hero. And if he beats the Rams, who again not great, but that's a marquee team in the NFL, Sean McVay, Matt Stafford on the other side, like that could be another confidence boost for him as well. So all he has to do is um, stack what he's got and keep going. And, I think he'll find a way to win. I mean, he'll find a way to play better.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so we both agree on the Cowboys winning this game. Uh, for me, I think it's just uh, Dak playing with confidence. What the Cowboys do on defense. I think Matthew Stafford actually could have a really, really nice game. Again, back in Texas, he's got the weapons. I think Stafford can have a great game, but I think in the end, even if it's a shootout, I think Dallas just defensively.
Especially at home. Like
Yeah,
Dallas at home is just a tough game no matter how bad they are.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's really like the main thing I'm looking into this. Like I think Stafford will play his hard out. So will the defense trying to contain that offense. But in the end, Jerry's going to get that win at home.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jerry's gonna do it. Yeah, he gets all the credit. All right, let's move on to the rapid fire picks. Got some other interesting games that we can throw in here to talk about and predict. We got Bobby's Oklahoma Sooners going to Kansas, who was a 5-2 team, good team in the Big 12. Not an easy place to play, but the Sooners are gonna have to go to Kansas and win a game to stay afloat in the Big 12. After coming off of a game where you struggled against UCF, like you're hoping that they don't fall victim here to a good Kansas team. I think I got Oklahoma, but I think it could be a really tough game.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma just kind of looked past UCF a little bit too much. I think that's why they were kind of caught off guard. But I'm sure Venables is going to get that together, tighten it all up, and just rock the rest of the schedule to the Big 12 championship. So give me Oklahoma.
Yeah. Tennessee and Kentucky. Tennessee coming off a tough loss to Alabama. They led at halftime by 2 scores. Second half, Alabama did what Alabama does, and unfortunately, got a tough loss. Now they have to
I
go.
think a little
Yeah,
bit Joe Milton did what Joe Milton does. Like he'll
that
start
too.
off on
Yeah,
fire and then just hit a brick wall, and you're like, "Where'd all the talent go?"
yeah, that too. That too. Okay, yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah. So yeah, 5-2 Tennessee going to 5-2 Kentucky. This is like split right in the middle in terms of like bets, but Tennessee is favored by 3.5. I don't know, man. Like Kentucky could win this game. I still sort of believe in Devin Leary. Tennessee showed a lot against Alabama, but to let them come back like that and have such a letdown when you're like firmly in, the SEC race, like that's gonna be tough. But if they want to do anything in the SEC, you know, they still got to take care of business here. Other teams have 2 losses in the SEC, so it's not the end of the world. But I don't know. I'm gonna take Tennessee, but I'm reluctant about the pick.
Yeah, I like an upset in this one. I like it because it's at Kentucky. It's a good kind of rivalry between these two teams. Hatred builds up, so give me the upset at Kentucky.
Yeah. All right, we got another game that I feel like is still a really big game. Maybe earlier in the year, people thought it could be bigger, but it's Colorado at UCLA. It's funny because everyone was like, "Man, we wish the Colorado USC game was in LA." And I was like, kind of in the back of my mind, I was like, "Yeah, well, they're coming to LA to play UCLA, Pasadena, whatever." Like, so in my mind, I'm wondering, how many celebrities will show up now that Colorado is 4-3. Uh, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stars there to support Dion and see, Shador and all that. It's still a very fun team to watch. I was looking at the prices for the game. Actually, they're actually pretty high for the UCLA game. So, there is some interest, I think, still in seeing Colorado here in LA. But yeah, UCLA coming off a game where they benched Dante Moore, their freshman quarterback, a true freshman quarterback, and brought in somebody else. So maybe they figured, all right, Dante Moore, we're tired of you throwing pick sixes. You're a good player, but you're not ready quite yet. And UCLA got a big win last week. So um, looking down the barrel, trying to make continue. Um, Colorado is trying to get bowl eligibility. Again, they're 4-3. UCLA is 5-2, trying to hang on in the Pac-12, trying to stay ranked. Um, I'm taking UCLA. I just think you know, Colorado can make this tough game on offense, but UCLA is so balanced on offense and defense. You know, there's not going to be a great home field advantage, but I think UCLA is a tough team. Chip Kelly's a really good college coach. I think Colorado might be a little bit overmatched in this one.
Yeah, I this is in a game I had Colorado winning. Maybe if they consistently did what they're doing in the beginning, but I think they'll keep it close. I think the offense it'll go off and score some points, but you know we always talk about Chip Kelly always having his guys ready for like these type of games. So Colorado comes to town, they're going to be ready. They'll get the W.
Yeah, Colorado kind of running out of games to. I mean, they've already quadrupled their win total from last year, so that's an accomplishment. But with the loss to Stanford a couple weeks ago, like, okay, now you're running out of games to get those 6 wins for a bowl game. You got this game, Oregon State, Arizona, who's playing tough, uh, Washington State, and then Utah. Like, you gotta, if you want to make a bowl game, you gotta have this one. It seems like so.
Those poor kids. That's a tough
Yeah,
schedule.
yeah,
That's gonna be
high
me. That's gonna be me next year.
yeah, high stakes for both teams for sure. Um, all right, Ohio State coming off their big win against Penn State, going to Wisconsin. Wisconsin's 5-2, feeling a little bit good about themselves, I'm sure, but got to host an Ohio State team coming off a big win. Um, could be a trap game, could be not. We'll see what happens. I'm taking Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love a good upset, I think Wisconsin is a pretty fraudulent 5-2. I don't think they're a very strong team. Not that I'm saying that Ohio State's very strong, but their offense is better, their defense is better. You know, go in there, take care of business. We'll see you in November undefeated.
Yeah, easy enough. Okay. Uh, Duke at Louisville. Duke held Florida State as long as they could, but couldn't get it done. Riley Leonard not healthy. Their backup is terrible. Louisville trying to stay afloat in the ACC race. North Carolina gave them some hope by losing to Virginia. So I think Louisville kind of knows that they still have a chance to get to the ACC game and can do so with a win at Duke, who's playing good defense, but offensively, I just don't think they're going to be viable until Riley Leonard is 100%. And I don't think he was against Florida State, so I'm taking Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so bummed for Duke because man, they were just really really on a tear, you know.
Good
So
story.
if they still their QB, I'd honestly take them. But I just think Louisville's, like you said, staying afloat, got to fight for a chance to even stay in this race. So give me them at home.
Yeah. All right. Buccaneers at Bills. Baker Mayfield had a letdown against the Falcons. God. And going to face the Bills team who had a letdown against the Patriots. So two teams coming off of bad losses to bad teams. Uh, Buccaneers going up north to face Josh Allen and the Bills. I think Bills bounce back in a big way. I'm picking Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, if you're telling me two angry teams coming off a loss, give me Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs like all day long, especially up in Buffalo.
Yeah. All right. Next game, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars going to the Steelers. Steelers 4-2. Jaguars 5-2. I think is their record. Um, playing some good football. But in this game against Pittsburgh, who good defense. I don't love Kenny Pickett at all, but they just find ways to win. I'm picking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean the Jaguars have been playing good. Trevor Lawrence has been playing well, but I think that Steelers are just not really figured it out yet, or are fighting for it. Fighting to like kind of get. I know they're 4-2, but they aren't really playing like they've been 4-2. So they get it together this weekend at home, and they take the W.
Yeah, I mean, still trying to stay in that AFC North race.
It's a tough
And
one.
yeah, Jaguars have a bye next week, so they may lay down and just try to get healthy in the bye and come back after that. All right, last rapid fire game. The Browns and the Seahawks. Um, not a sexy game, but both teams are 4-2, so two pretty good teams. Uh, Deshaun Watson looks terrible, but Browns are winning games with defense. I actually like Cleveland to go to Seattle and win this game.
Is Metcalf still hurt?
Uh,
Because I know he was hurt last game. I didn't look it up though. Because that's really going to be my.
ooh. Well, I can look that up real quick. I know Jigma's on my fantasy team, and it looks like he got the benefit of Metcalf being injured, so um, that may not matter as much, but it looks like he's still on the injury report. So
Yeah, man, I'm like looking up. He's got some stuff coming out about him. Wasn't even paying attention to everything about some like anger and trading him. Oof.
okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but I guess he's a game time decision. So he's been limited all week. I don't see Seahawks taking it. Give me the Browns and taking the win. Even with Deshaun playing completely crappy.
Yeah, their Browns defense is playing. That AFC North race.
Miles Garrett is just insane. Like I would love to have him on my team.
Me too. The AFC North race is absolutely like insane right now. Like,
I know.
all teams are
neck and neck all the way through. Yeah.
Crazy. Okay. Lock of the week. Let's talk about it. Lexi was on a roll, but the over finally failed. The Dolphins Eagles did not hit the over. She
like, how do you not hit the over? Come on, people.
Missed it by about 5 points there. But yeah, Dolphins offense sputtered in that game. So didn't get any points last week. Bobby that's finally caught up to me. He got a good lock, Ohio State, smart pick. And so the scoreboard is now Lexi 10, Bobby 6, me 6. I had USC last week. When they scored that touchdown, I think they had like a minute and some change left. Caleb Williams went on the fourth quarter. I was like, this USC defense left Utah too much time in the clock. Like, this defense is not going to stop here. As soon as I saw that, I was like thinking to myself, yeah, this is going to go the other way. Utah drove down the field. That game when they field goal, game was over. So I took an L there. I thought USC was going to come out, swinging and play better and beat Utah, but that did not happen. So I took an L. So again, Lexi's still in the lead, but me and Bobby tied at 6. Lexi's got 10. Lock for this week. Bobby's picking Oregon to beat Utah and SLC. Lexi, who got for your lock of the week?
Man, it might be famous last words, but I'm taking the Cowboys to win it. So don't let me down, or I'll hate you even more.
My lock is on the other side of that matchup. I'm picking the Rams plus 6.5. I think the Cowboys can win this game 100%. Like, not even mad at that lock, but I think it's more likely that the Rams, the way they play, the way Matt Stafford's going to play in his hometown or his home state. Um, Dallas, I think, deserves to feel good about themselves, but usually when they do after a win like that, emotional win, I think Dallas is in for a little bit of letdown. So I think the Rams definitely covered the 6.5, and that's my lock this week. So there you have it. That's our locks. Should be an interesting weekend of football once again. But yeah, basketball, springing on there now. Hockey, playoff baseball. Great time of year.
All right. See ya.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Peace. Stop.